Hey guys, tonight we begin a gentle journey into a story that unfolds in a quiet city, wrapped in stillness yet shadowed by unseen threat. You find yourself arriving in Bethulia, a small town nestled on a hill, surrounded by hills and valleys that breathe a soft, natural calm. The sun sets slowly, casting a golden glow on ancient stone walls that have held firm for many seasons. Yet beneath this peaceful evening, you can feel a subtle tension, like the breath held before a deep sigh. The air hums softly with expectation and waiting, a delicate balance between hope and uncertainty. Yet, you might wonder, what draws you here to this city so quietly on the brink? The story you are about to enter is one of deep trust and tender courage. It invites you to slow down and listen closely to the heartbeat of a people, to the gentle stirring of faith in the face of looming shadow. And as you lean in, perhaps you can feel that soft, steady pulse. The same pulse that has echoed through countless generations who found strength not in loud defiance, but in quiet resolve. Before you get fully comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd love to know where you're joining from tonight, and what time it is in your little corner of the world. Maybe your night is just beginning, or perhaps you're winding down. Wherever you are, this story is here to help you find calm and peace. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Bethulia, your new home for this evening, stands surrounded by hills that cradle it protectively. The city's walls rise gently from the earth, weathered but strong, ancient but alive with history. You walk along these walls and see families gathered quietly by their fires, children's laughter mingling with the murmured voices of elders sharing tales and prayers. This is a place where faith is not just spoken but lived, a sacred rhythm that guides every moment. The city is caught in a season of waiting. News has come that an army approaches, a formidable force whose shadow stretches long across the hills. Yet within the walls, there is a stillness, a resolve held in soft hands and gentle hearts. People look to the skies at night, whispering prayers for protection, for mercy. The stars above seem to listen, their lights steady and calm. In this stillness, you begin to notice the small things. A woman tending her garden by candlelight, hands steady and sure despite the dark. A child's soft song sung in the quiet of evening, a melody of hope and trust. These details weave a tapestry of life untouched by fear, a reminder that even when the world presses close, the soul can remain serene. But how does such calm hold when the unknown presses in? Scholars still discuss whether Bethulia's walls represent more than just physical defense. Perhaps they symbolize the boundaries of faith itself, the fragile edge where trust meets trial. As you breathe in this moment, you are invited to lean into that question, to hold the quiet tension as a sacred space. So here you are, poised on the cusp of a story that will carry you through moments of fear and moments of quiet power, a story that teaches through its softness and stillness. With every gentle step you take along Bethulia's stones, you are drawn deeper into a journey that is as much about the heart as it is about history. And now, with the city settling into night and your spirit opening to the story, you prepare to meet the first voices who will guide you through what comes next. The story is already unfolding, slow, peaceful, and full of a steady hope that never wavers. You begin to learn more intimately about Judith, the woman whose quiet strength will come to shape the fate of Bethulia. She is not a warrior with sword in hand or a loud voice in the council halls. Instead, you see her in the rhythm of her daily life. Her hands folded in prayer as morning light filters softly through her window, the faint scent of myrrh rising as she anoints herself in preparation for the day. Judith is a widow, yet her presence fills her home with calm dignity and gentle grace. As you listen, you discover how her faith is woven into every moment. Each prayer a quiet anchor, each act of kindness a soft beacon in a time of growing darkness. Her trust is not born from certainty, but from a deep well of hope, a steady knowing that she is part of a larger story, one written by a hand unseen, but lovingly guiding. You notice the way she moves through the city, offering solace to neighbors, sharing bread, and listening with tender attentiveness. Her courage is silent but unmistakable. Judith's beauty is described with subtle care, not flashy or loud, but quietly compelling, reflecting an inner light that draws people near. Yet, her beauty is not just skin deep. It is the beauty of steadfast faith, a soul rooted in patience and trust. You might imagine the gentle curve of her smile as she prays for strength, or the soft clarity in her eyes as she faces the uncertainty pressing against the city walls. One lesser-known insight comes to you here. Judith's name itself means Jewess, a quiet reminder of her deep identity and connection to her people and their God. Scholars suggest her story may have been crafted as both an encouragement and a subtle challenge to those living under foreign oppression, inviting them to trust in divine providence even when the future feels fragile. What might it mean, you wonder, to hold such trust in a world trembling on the edge? Judith's faith is reflected not only in her prayers, but also in her understanding of the spiritual power of beauty and wisdom combined. She prepares herself carefully, knowing that her appearance will speak in the silent language of grace and dignity. It's a reminder that courage sometimes wears a soft veil, that strength can be quiet, composed, and deeply reverent. As you continue to follow her story, you might pause and reflect. How do we measure true courage? Is it only in bold actions, or can it be found in the steadfast calm of prayerful waiting and subtle resolve? Judith invites you to explore these questions in the gentle spaces of your own heart. The city around her hums softly with anticipation. You can almost hear the faint echo of her prayers mingling with the evening breeze, a whispered melody of hope that will soon meet a turning point. And as you stay near Judith, you feel the peaceful strength that flows quietly from a heart fully surrendered. Remember that gentle shepherd song you heard earlier? It feels not so different from the quiet songs Judith carries within, a soft, steady faith that will guide her through the night ahead. You sense the weight of the siege pressing gently yet unrelentingly upon Bethulia. The once peaceful city now wears an air of hushed urgency, like a breath held beneath a blanket. From your vantage point along the high stone walls, you watch as the enemy's camp spreads across the surrounding hills, tents and banners shifting in the soft wind, the flicker of distant fires glowing dimly in the twilight. It is an imposing presence, yet one tempered by the quiet resilience of those inside. The siege is more than just a military blockade. It's a test of endurance, a slow tightening of a noose woven with days and nights that stretch long and still. The water supply, a lifeline that courses beneath the city, begins to dwindle, and whispers circulate among the townsfolk, concerns that rise softly like the evening mist. The people move about with careful steps, conserving, praying, and waiting. You feel the tension ripple beneath their calm exteriors, a delicate thread that binds them together. You notice how Judith's faith intertwines with this tense reality. She walks through the market square, offering smiles that soothe and quiet words that bolster. The story tells of her stepping lightly among the people, a calming presence who reminds them of hope even as the walls grow more shadowed. Her prayers deepen, a steady light in the gathering dusk. An intriguing detail you might not have known is that the siege of Bethulia is often seen by scholars as symbolic, a reflection on spiritual endurance as much as physical survival. The dwindling water, the encroaching forces, and the city's steadfastness echo themes of faith under pressure, reminding listeners that sometimes the battles we face are fought within. You might find yourself wondering, how does this ancient siege reflect the silent struggles we carry in our own lives? What does it mean to hold steady when resources feel scarce and the horizon darkens? The elders gather on the city walls, voices low and weighted. Their debate is gentle but earnest, balancing fear with trust, pragmatism with prayer. As you listen, you hear the rhythm of their concern, the cadence of voices worn by sleepless nights and steadfast hope. The decision to hold fast or to surrender becomes a silent prayer in itself, a call to divine guidance whispered into the night air. This moment invites a reflective pause. How do communities find calm amid uncertainty? What spiritual resources do they call upon to nurture hope when the future is uncertain? These questions ripple quietly through Bethulia's stones, mingling with Judith's steady prayers and the murmur of the faithful. You walk beside her as she watches the horizon, her eyes calm yet alert. The city's heartbeat matches hers, a steady pulse of trust, waiting, and quiet courage. The siege is no longer just a story of walls and armies. It is a narrative of the soul's endurance, of gentle strength that holds even when fear presses close. In this soft stillness, you find yourself invited to breathe deeply and let the calm settle around you, to sit with the tension and let it transform into something tender, a quiet hope rooted in faith's gentle embrace. You join the elders gathered in the city's quiet council chamber, a space softened by the glow of oil lamps and the faint scent of burning frankincense. The air is thick with contemplation, each voice a thread woven carefully into the fabric of collective concern. They speak in measured tones, their words balancing the weight of fear and hope, the practical and the spiritual. You sense the gravity of their task, deciding whether to surrender their city or place trust in something beyond human strength. Their deliberations unfold slowly, like a sacred ritual, punctuated by moments of silent prayer and deep listening. You notice how they seek wisdom not only in their own experience, but in the whispers of Scripture and the memories of past deliverances. The elders speak of promises made and kept, of unseen hands guiding through times of darkness. Their faith is steady, even as their eyes betray the strain of sleepless nights and endless worry. Among them, Judith's presence lingers like a soft breeze, though she is not in the chamber. You feel her quiet resolve in the room, a gentle undercurrent of courage that challenges the elders' doubts and invites a deeper trust. It's this interplay between human decision and divine guidance that colors the council's debate with a gentle reverence, reminding you that faith and action walk hand in hand. An intriguing detail emerges here. Scholars often discuss how the elders' council represents more than just a political body. It symbolizes the spiritual discernment communities must practice when facing trials. The tension between surrender and resistance mirrors an eternal question about when to hold fast and when to let go. You might wonder quietly, how do we listen for guidance in moments of uncertainty? When is it time to act, and when is it time to wait? The elders consider the practical realities, scarce water, growing hunger, and the enemy's relentless presence. Yet beneath these concerns lies a deeper spiritual question, a soft echo that calls each listener to examine the roots of their trust. Are they placing hope in their own strength or in the faithfulness of God? This question hums quietly beneath the surface, inviting reflection as the night deepens. You feel the room's energy shift as the elders reach a tentative decision, balancing caution with the stirrings of hope. Their choice is not loud or triumphant, but a calm commitment to wait, to watch, and to trust. It is a moment heavy with the weight of faith, a delicate turning point that sets the stage for what is to come. As you absorb this peaceful yet potent scene, you might pause to reflect. In your own life, how do moments of communal discernment shape your path? How does gentle courage emerge in the quiet decisions we make each day? The Elders' Council invites you into a sacred space of listening and trust, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, faith can be a steady light. Remember Judith's steady prayers as you move forward, her quiet courage a soft melody that continues to weave through the story's unfolding chapters. You feel Judith's quiet confidence as she steps forward amidst the anxious murmurs of the city. Though she is a widow, living simply and faithfully, her spirit shines with a calm resolve that moves gently but surely through the tense air. Unlike the elders, who wrestle openly with fear and doubt, Judith offers a plan wrapped not in noise or bluster, but in a soft, unwavering trust, an invitation to lean into courage that grows from quiet faith. You watch her as she approaches the council, her words deliberate and measured. She does not boast or demand attention. Instead, her voice carries the weight of humility and deep conviction. She offers herself as a vessel of hope, ready to face the unknown not with weapons, but with wisdom and prayer. It's a moment charged with gentle power, a reminder that strength often wears the guise of peace. Judith's resolve is rooted in a subtle but profound understanding that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. You notice the way she speaks of God's protection as a living presence, not a distant force, but a gentle hand guiding every step. Her plan is both daring and delicate, a blend of human action and divine trust that invites the city to breathe again. A lesser-known insight here is that Judith's role challenges typical expectations of heroism in biblical stories. Scholars often point out how her femininity and wisdom work together to create a unique form of courage, one that blends beauty with bravery, intellect with faith. This invites you to consider, how does courage manifest differently in each of us? What quiet strengths might you discover when you listen beyond the usual definitions? As you imagine Judith preparing to carry out her plan, you might also reflect on the spiritual balance she embodies. She neither rushes headlong nor hesitates in fear. Instead, she waits for the right moment, guided by prayer and the soft promptings of faith. Her calm resolve becomes a mirror, encouraging you to find stillness even amid uncertainty. The city seems to hold its breath as Judith's plan takes shape, a peaceful tension that pulses like the steady rhythm of a heartbeat. You feel the story's gentle invitation to trust not in power alone, but in the quiet courage that whispers through prayer and intention. Remember the elders' hesitant decision? Judith's quiet resolve offers a soft contrast, a hopeful thread woven through the tapestry of fear and faith. And as you settle deeper into the story, you carry with you the gentle lesson that true courage often begins with a single, quiet step. You follow Judith as she prepares herself for what lies ahead, moving with a calm purpose through the familiar spaces of her home. Each moment of preparation is filled with quiet intention, as if every small ritual carries a sacred weight. The soft light of oil lamps flickers gently, casting warm shadows on the walls where woven tapestries tell stories of faith and hope. You can almost hear the gentle brush of her hands as she arranges her garments, the delicate touch of fabric against skin a silent prayer. Judith's preparations are both practical and spiritual. She takes time to anoint herself with fragrant oils, a tradition that connects her to generations past, women who found strength in the scent of myrrh and cedarwood. This act is more than self-care. It is a sacred moment of centering, a slow breath drawn deep into the heart of her resolve. As she moves through this ritual, you might feel a quiet awe for the way small acts can hold great meaning, especially when faced with uncertainty. You notice how Judith chooses her attire with care, selecting garments that will speak softly of dignity and grace when she steps beyond the city gates. Her clothing becomes a silent language, conveying strength wrapped in gentle beauty. This subtlety is powerful. She does not seek to intimidate, but to inspire trust and respect. It's a reminder that courage often shines brightest when it is quiet and unassuming. An intriguing detail here is that in some ancient traditions, the use of fragrant oils and careful dress was thought to be a way of inviting divine presence. Scholars suggest that Judith's anointing may symbolize more than physical preparation. It could reflect a spiritual readiness, a soft armor woven from faith and prayer. You might wonder, how do our own rituals, however small, prepare us for the challenges we face? What spiritual threads run through our daily acts of care? As Judith steps out into the evening, you sense the cool air against her skin and the gentle rustle of leaves stirred by a whispering breeze. The world seems to hold its breath with her, the quiet night filled with anticipation and sacred calm. Every step she takes is measured, filled with both hope and humility. You might recall the gentle prayers spoken by the elders, the steady faith of the city's walls, and the slow, rhythmic pulse of Bethulia itself. Judith's preparations link all these threads together: human courage, divine trust, and the delicate dance between the two. This moment of calm before the encounter invites you to reflect on your own rituals, those simple, meaningful acts that steady your heart and prepare you to meet life's uncertainties with grace. Like Judith, you carry within you a reservoir of quiet strength, waiting to be drawn upon when the time comes. As you walk alongside her into the unfolding night, you are invited to hold this peaceful readiness close, a gentle reminder that preparation is itself a prayer. You enter the quiet tension of Judith's encounter with Holofernes, the imposing general whose presence looms over the camp like a silent shadow. The air between them is charged, yet it holds a calm that feels almost sacred, as if both are aware of the unseen forces guiding this meeting. Judith approaches with grace, each step measured and deliberate, her heart steady beneath the soft rustle of her robes. Holofernes greets her with a mixture of curiosity and respect, his voice low and careful. Though he commands armies, here he listens, intrigued by the calm confidence that radiates from this woman. Their conversation flows gently, words chosen with care, revealing layers of unspoken understanding and subtle power. Judith speaks with wisdom, weaving gentle truth into her responses, her faith shining through each phrase like a soft light in the dusk. You notice the delicate dance of respect and caution between them, a silent exchange where much is said without raising voices. Judith's beauty and composure disarm the general, but it is her inner strength that holds the greatest sway. This encounter is not merely a meeting of two individuals, but a sacred moment suspended between fate and free will, where courage is cloaked in softness. A lesser-known insight whispers here. Some scholars believe Judith's meeting with Holofernes reflects an ancient tradition of sacred diplomacy, where wisdom and subtlety become tools of deliverance. It invites you to ponder how sometimes the most profound power is wielded not by force, but by presence and quiet influence. What does it mean to carry strength gently, and how might that transform moments of conflict in your own life? As their conversation unfolds, you sense Judith's prayers weaving silently between her words, a hidden stream of faith flowing beneath the surface, steady and sure. The night deepens, and with it comes a stillness that holds both danger and promise. You might reflect quietly. How do moments of silence and subtlety become acts of courage? When is the softest voice the strongest? The camp around them hums faintly with life. Distant laughter, the clinking of cups, the soft footsteps of guards. But in this intimate space, time seems to slow, allowing the sacred tension to stretch and unfold. You feel the story holding you gently, inviting you to lean into this quiet power, to rest in the stillness before the turning. Remember Judith's careful preparations and the elders' measured prayers. Here, in this meeting, all these threads intertwine, a delicate weave of trust, wisdom, and courage waiting to unfurl. As you breathe softly with the unfolding scene, you are carried deeper into the peaceful strength that defines Judith's journey, a strength that will soon shape the fate of a city and echo through the ages. You share the serene unfolding of the banquet evening, a moment filled with quiet rituals and subtle shifts in power. The tent where Judith and Holofernes meet glows softly with flickering lamps, the air scented faintly with incense and the warmth of spiced wine. Around you, the soft murmur of distant voices blends with the gentle clinking of cups, creating a soothing backdrop to a night heavy with unspoken possibilities. Judith moves with composed grace, her every gesture measured yet natural. The way she listens, the slight incline of her head, the soft words she offers, each reveals a woman deeply rooted in faith and wisdom. You sense that beneath the outward calm lies a profound prayerfulness, a steady connection to something greater than the moment itself. Her presence becomes a quiet anchor in the shifting currents of the night. Holofernes, for all his might, seems disarmed by this gentle strength. His laughter comes soft and unguarded, his eyes reflecting a rare openness. The story unfolds not as a clash, but as a dance, an exchange marked by respect and a subtle acknowledgement of mutual recognition. Here, power does not roar, it whispers. An intriguing detail you may not have noticed before is the role of silence during the banquet. Between the spoken words, moments of quiet linger, carrying weight and meaning. Scholars note that these pauses reflect a sacred space where divine intervention might work, where human actions meet the will of a higher power. It invites you to ask, how do silence and stillness shape the decisions we make? What might you hear if you allowed yourself to dwell more deeply in the quiet between words? As the evening deepens, Judith's prayers remain a gentle undercurrent, unseen but ever present, weaving through the shadows and light. The night air cools, the soft rustling of the tent's fabric mingling with the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. You feel the sacred tension stretch and unfold like the slow turning of a calm tide. You might recall the earlier moments of her preparation, the steady resolve she carried into this encounter. This banquet is a delicate extension of that resolve, a space where faith and courage meet in quiet communion. The story invites you to rest in this gentle strength, to feel the peace that arises when trust is carried softly through uncertainty. Remember the steady pulse of Bethulia's walls and the elders' prayers. Now, the city's fate rests lightly on this night's unfolding calm, a testament to the power found not in force but in quiet, steadfast hope. As you breathe with this peaceful scene, you are drawn deeper into a sacred rhythm, one that will soon lead to a moment of courage beyond words. You feel the stillness settle around you like a gentle veil as Judith prepares for the moment of courage that will soon unfold. The night air holds a quiet hush, broken only by the soft rustle of leaves and the distant lull of sleeping soldiers. This is a sacred pause, a breath held between what has been and what is about to be, a space filled with reverence, resolve, and a tender strength that transcends fear. Judith's heart beats steadily, each thump a quiet drum of faith. You notice the calm in her eyes, a deep well of trust that has been nurtured through prayer and patience. She moves with deliberate care, each step carrying her closer to a destiny woven with both human courage and divine grace. The city's walls seem to pulse gently with her resolve, the stones themselves whispering ancient promises of protection and hope. This moment is both terrifying and peaceful, an intimate intersection of vulnerability and power. Judith does not rush or falter. Instead, she embraces the stillness, drawing on a quiet reservoir of strength that has been cultivated in the soft hours of dawn and the gentle prayers of evening. You might imagine the soft glow of the moonlight touching her skin, a celestial witness to her bravery. A lesser-known insight lies here. Some scholars interpret Judith's act as not merely a physical deed, but a profound spiritual surrender, an offering of self that transcends fear and invites divine intervention. This invites you to ponder quietly. What does it mean to surrender courageously? How can the most powerful acts sometimes be the ones carried out in silence and trust? As Judith steps forward, the world seems to hold its breath. The camp sleeps, unaware of the unfolding courage that will ripple through its midst like a soft, unstoppable tide. You might reflect on your own moments of quiet bravery, those times when fear bowed to faith and hesitation gave way to action. The story invites you to rest in this tender space, to feel the sacred power of courage wrapped in gentleness. Here, strength is not loud or forceful, but a soft light guiding the way through darkness. The night embraces Judith's resolve, carrying it forward with a calm that soothes even the most restless spirit. Remember the steady prayers and careful preparations that have led to this point. In this sacred stillness, you are invited to find peace in the knowledge that courage often blooms quietly, nurtured by trust and the soft whispers of faith. As you breathe deeply with the unfolding moment, you are carried gently into a new chapter of hope and deliverance, one that will echo softly through the stones of Bethulia and the hearts of those who listen. You move quietly with Judith as she slips through the darkened streets of Bethulia, her footsteps soft against the cool stone. The city, still shadowed and hushed, seems to hold its breath alongside her, wrapped in a cloak of night that muffles the usual sounds of life. Every alley and corner carries a gentle stillness, the air thick with anticipation, yet tempered by the calm of faith. This escape is not hurried or frantic. It unfolds with a tender urgency, like a whispered promise carried on the breeze. As you walk beside her, you notice the subtle details. The faint glow of a distant lantern flickering through a narrow window, the muted rustle of leaves stirred by a gentle nighttime wind, the steady rhythm of her breath as she moves steadily towards safety. Judith's calm resolve pulses softly in this quiet journey, her heart anchored in prayer and trust. She is both vulnerable and strong, a delicate balance that carries her through the shadowed streets. You might not have realized that the escape is as much a spiritual passage as a physical one. Some scholars suggest that Judith's movement through the city at night symbolizes a crossing from fear to faith, a passage through darkness toward light. This invites you to reflect. How do the quiet moments of transition in your own life carry meaning beyond their outward appearance? What gentle transformations unfold when you move forward with trust, even in uncertainty? The city itself seems to awaken slowly as Judith approaches her goal, a soft stirring of hope mingling with cautious relief. The The walls that once felt confining now become protective guides, and the familiar paths pulse with a new lightness. You can almost hear the faint murmur of prayers rising from the city's heart, a melody of gratitude and quiet celebration. Judith's escape is not solitary. It is woven into the collective breath of Bethulia. As she moves forward, the city breathes with her, sharing in the fragile joy of deliverance, yet tempered by the knowledge that the journey is not yet complete. This delicate dance between fear and hope, shadow and light, invites you to hold your own moments of uncertainty gently, trusting in the unseen grace that guides each step. You might recall the stillness before her courageous act and the soft strength she carried into the enemy's camp. Now, as you move with her through the darkened streets, you feel the story's quiet momentum building, a slow, steady current of hope that will soon swell into the dawn. This passage encourages you to lean into the peaceful resilience found in stillness and faith, a gentle reminder that even in the darkest hours, light moves quietly beneath the surface. As you breathe softly with Judith's journey, you are invited to carry this calm strength within, knowing that courage and trust often walk together in the softest of steps. You feel the first soft blush of dawn spreading gently over Bethulia, casting a warm, golden light that caresses the city's stone walls and stirs the sleeping hearts within. The night's quiet tension begins to dissolve, replaced by a subtle awakening, a slow, tender stirring of hope that rises with the morning breeze. You watch as the city breathes anew, each breath a soft prayer carried on the gentle winds that ripple through olive groves and narrow streets. The people of Bethulia emerge cautiously, their steps light and tentative as they gather near the walls, eyes lifted toward the horizon where the sky blooms with pale pinks and soft blues. The siege that once pressed heavily on their spirits now feels less daunting, softened by the quiet courage and faith that has sustained them through the dark hours. You sense a gentle joy mingled with relief, a community slowly knitting itself together again in the soft light of dawn. Judith stands among them, her face touched by the glow of morning, her heart steady with the peace that follows brave resolve. You notice how the city's renewed spirit reflects back in her calm gaze, a silent testament to the power of trust and prayer. The stones beneath your feet seem to hum with a gentle energy, echoing the quiet triumph woven through the city's veins. An intriguing detail emerges here. Some scholars interpret this morning after the siege as more than a mere historical moment. It is a symbol of spiritual renewal, a fresh beginning born from the interplay of courage and grace. You might find yourself reflecting, how do moments of new light bring healing to the places shadowed by fear? What gentle transformations await when we embrace the dawn after a long night? The streets gradually fill with soft conversations, shared smiles, and muted songs of thanksgiving. The air carries a delicate fragrance of blooming flowers and freshly turned earth, mingling with the lingering scent of prayers offered through the night. The community moves with a newfound softness, their steps echoing a quiet resilience that has been quietly growing all along. You remember Judith's peaceful prayers and careful preparations, the elders' steady discernment, and the subtle strength of the city's walls. All these threads now weave together in a tapestry of hope and gentle renewal. This moment invites you to rest in the comforting rhythm of morning, the slow unfolding of light, and the tender rebirth of trust. As you breathe with the city's awakening, you are invited to carry this peaceful spirit within you, letting it seep softly into your own heart. The dawn holds a promise that even after the longest night, there is a new beginning waiting to bloom, wrapped in calm and quiet grace. You listen as Judith offers her humble praise, her voice soft like a gentle breeze stirring the still morning air. Her words flow slowly, each syllable a delicate thread woven into a tapestry of gratitude and trust. She thanks the divine presence that has carried her and her people through the night's trials, acknowledging a grace that moves beyond human understanding. You feel the quiet reverence in her tone, a song not of triumph, but of gentle surrender and peace. As she prays, you notice the serene posture she adopts, hands folded lightly, eyes closed in quiet contemplation. Her prayer is both personal and communal, a whispered blessing for the city and its people, for those who fought and those who hoped in silence. This moment is steeped in humility, a reminder that true strength often arises from surrender rather than conquest. You might be intrigued to know that Judith's prayers reflect themes found throughout sacred texts, an emphasis on mercy, protection, and the enduring presence of divine love. Scholars often highlight how her words embody a profound spirituality that embraces both vulnerability and strength. You are invited to reflect. How does gratitude transform our understanding of courage? What gentle power lies in acknowledging our dependence on a greater presence? The city listens with a stillness that feels almost sacred, the soft murmur of morning prayers rising alongside Judith's voice. You sense a collective breath held in quiet awe, a moment where fear gives way to peace, and uncertainty is met with steadfast trust. The air is fragrant with blooming jasmine and the distant song of birds awakening, weaving a calming backdrop to this sacred offering. Judith's praise is a balm, soothing the weary hearts of Bethulia. It invites you to pause and breathe deeply, allowing gratitude to fill the spaces where doubt once lingered. Her words remind you that courage is not only found in bold deeds, but also in the gentle act of giving thanks, an embrace of hope that nurtures the soul. As you hold this moment close, you might recall the tender strength that has carried Judith thus far, the calm preparation, the steady faith, the quiet prayers in the dark. Now, her voice rises softly, a gentle melody that lingers in the heart and invites you to rest in its peace. With this prayer, the story flows onward, carrying you gently toward reflections on courage, trust, and the quiet power of faith lived in everyday moments. You begin to ponder the deep reflections on courage and trust that Judith's story gently unfolds before you. This is not a tale of loud battles or grand spectacles, but a quiet narrative woven with the subtle threads of steadfast faith and gentle bravery. You find yourself invited to contemplate how courage can be a soft flame, steady and warm, rather than a roaring fire. It's a reminder that strength often blooms in moments of silence and stillness, nurtured by trust rather than force. As you reflect, you recall the many ways Judith's courage manifested, not in reckless daring, but in deliberate choices shaped by prayer, wisdom, and a deep sense of divine presence. Her bravery is intimate and personal, anchored in a quiet resolve that shines like a soft lantern in the night. You might imagine the way this kind of courage breathes quietly within your own life, waiting to be awakened in moments of uncertainty. A lesser-known insight comes into view here. Scholars note that Judith's story is sometimes seen as a subtle allegory for the power of faith to overcome even the most overwhelming threats. It suggests that trust in the divine can be a source of strength that outlasts armies and fear. You are invited to consider, how does trust transform fear? What gentle power arises when we surrender to a presence greater than ourselves? This reflection also opens a space to explore the nature of trust itself, a delicate thread that requires patience and humility. Trust is not blind. It is a conscious choice to lean into hope despite the unknown. You might feel a soft stirring of this trust within yourself as you listen, a quiet encouragement to embrace faith as a living, breathing companion. The story gently encourages you to sit with these questions without needing immediate answers. In the stillness of your heart, courage and trust may intertwine like vines, growing stronger together. It's a sacred dance that invites you to move slowly, gently, toward a deeper understanding of both. You might recall Judith's calm steps through the night, the elders' measured discernment, and the city's slow awakening, all moments threaded with this quiet courage. The story becomes a mirror, reflecting the subtle ways faith moves through our lives, even when unseen. As you breathe deeply with these reflections, you are invited to rest in the gentle assurance that courage and trust are ever-present companions, ready to guide you through life's tender moments and quiet challenges. You begin to consider Judith's story among the many lesser-known heroes nestled quietly within the sacred texts. Unlike the more familiar figures whose names echo loudly through history, Judith's tale invites you into a gentle reflection on hidden bravery, the kind that often goes unnoticed yet shapes the course of events with profound subtlety. Her story, rich with spiritual depth and soft courage, reminds you that heroism comes in many forms, some loud and dramatic, others quiet and deeply reverent. As you dwell on this, you might feel a tender appreciation for the many voices and narratives that weave through the tapestry of sacred history, voices that offer fresh perspectives and intimate lessons. Judith's story stands as a delicate whisper amid the grand chorus, urging you to listen closely to the understated courage found in faith lived daily. This perspective encourages a broadened understanding of strength, not just in armies or miracles, but in trust, wisdom, and gentle action. An intriguing detail here is how some scholars view Judith as a figure who challenges traditional gender roles, embodying a power that is both feminine and formidable, quiet yet transformative. Her story opens a space for you to reflect. How do the stories of lesser-known figures invite you to reconsider notions of power and influence? What hidden strengths might you discover within your own quiet moments? This invitation to explore unseen courage encourages a deeper connection with the sacred texts, not only as historical records, but as living, breathing stories that speak into your own journey. Judith's tale becomes a mirror reflecting the gentle resilience and steadfast faith that can bloom quietly within each of us. You might recall the peaceful prayers, the calm preparations, and the tender courage that have shaped her journey so far. Now, you are gently reminded that every quiet act of faith, every soft step taken with trust, is part of a sacred legacy that stretches beyond the familiar pages. As you breathe slowly with this reflection, you are invited to carry the spirit of Judith's hidden bravery within your heart, a quiet strength that can light your path through the soft shadows of life's uncertainties. You rest now in the enduring whisper of Judith's tale, feeling its soft echoes settle gently within your heart. This story, carried through generations, offers a quiet invitation to embrace courage and trust in your own moments of stillness and uncertainty. It does not shout its lessons but whispers them tenderly, like a lullaby for the soul, a gentle reminder that strength is often found in the calmest places. As you reflect, you sense how Judith's journey continues to breathe softly through time, touching those who listen with a serene grace. Her story becomes a sacred companion, a quiet friend who walks beside you through life's shadows and light, encouraging you to trust in a presence that holds you with gentle care. The enduring power of her example lies not in grand gestures, but in steadfast faith woven through humble acts. A lesser-known insight lingers here. Some spiritual traditions see Judith's story as a metaphor for the soul's journey, a movement from fear to trust, from isolation to communion, from darkness to light. This invites you to consider, how does this tale mirror your own path? What quiet courage do you carry within that longs to be awakened? The soft imagery of the city at peace, the gentle prayers, and the delicate courage now become a sacred space where you can rest, letting the story's calm wash over you like a soothing tide. You are reminded that even in the quietest moments, faith flows steadily, a river of peace beneath the surface of life's currents. You might recall the gentle rhythm of the entire journey, from the tense anticipation in Bethulia to the peaceful resolution that follows. Each step infused with a tranquil strength that invites you to slow down, breathe deeply, and trust the unfolding. The story leaves you with a sense of serene hope, a tender light that glows softly in the heart's quiet places. As you prepare to drift toward rest, carry with you the enduring whisper of Judith's courage and trust. Let it settle softly within, a gentle reminder that you are held, always, in the embrace of a love that moves quietly but powerfully through all things. Now, as your eyes grow heavy and your breath slows, let this peaceful story lull you gently into a restful sleep, wrapped in the calm assurance of grace and faith. You find yourself returning to the quiet streets of Bethulia, now bathed in the soft light of morning, where the gentle pulse of daily life begins to stir anew. The city's heartbeat, once shadowed by fear and uncertainty, now flows with a peaceful rhythm, carried on the breath of whispered prayers and soft footsteps. The stones beneath your feet seem to hum with a tender energy, as if the very earth remembers the courage that has passed through these streets. Judith's presence lingers gently here, a calm force woven into the fabric of the city's renewed spirit. As you walk beside her, You notice how her quiet strength continues to inspire those around her, a soft light that invites others to find courage in their own hearts. The community begins to gather, voices low and filled with gratitude, sharing stories of hope and faith that ripple like gentle waves through the morning air. You observe the subtle ways in which the city breathes with new life. The scent of freshly baked bread mingling with blooming flowers, the laughter of children playing softly among olive trees, the distant call of birds greeting the dawn. These moments carry a sacred stillness, a reminder that renewal often comes wrapped in the gentle cadence of ordinary days. An intriguing detail emerges here. Some scholars see this time after the siege as symbolic of spiritual restoration, a season where faith is not only tested but also deepened and transformed. You might reflect quietly on your own experiences of renewal, those gentle awakenings that follow times of trial and waiting. How does peace take root in your life after seasons of struggle? The city's elders and leaders gather once more, their voices soft but filled with a newfound hope. They speak not only of survival, but of a deeper trust that has been forged in the quiet fires of faith. This gathering becomes a sacred moment of reflection, a communal breath held in reverence for the grace that has sustained them. As you move through this serene scene, you are invited to consider the gentle power of community, the way shared faith and mutual support can nurture courage and healing. The story wraps you in a tender embrace, reminding you that you are never alone, even in the quietest or most uncertain times. You might recall the slow, steady steps that brought Judith and Bethulia to this point, the prayers whispered in darkness, the calm resolve carried through the night, and the dawn that now unfolds with gentle light. These moments weave together into a peaceful tapestry of trust and renewal. As you breathe softly with the city's gentle awakening, you are carried deeper into a space of calm and hope, a serene pause before the next chapter of this enduring story. You are drawn into the tender moments as Judith's story continues to unfold softly within the city's heart. The air is still warm from the morning sun, yet there is a quiet reverence that lingers, a sacred pause in the rhythm of daily life. You feel the gentle flow of gratitude and faith mingling with the soft murmurs of conversations, a peaceful chorus rising from the city's renewed spirit. As you walk among the people, you notice how Judith's example ripples quietly through their actions. Her courage has become a gentle beacon, inspiring a calm resilience that steadies hearts and minds. You observe families gathering under the shade of olive trees, sharing bread and stories, their laughter light, yet filled with deep meaning. This scene invites you to feel the subtle strength found in community and shared hope. An intriguing insight appears here. Some scholars suggest that Judith's story serves as a meditation on the power of humble leadership, a reminder that true influence often flows from quiet wisdom and compassionate courage rather than loud command. You might reflect, how does gentle leadership shape the spaces you inhabit? What soft strengths can emerge when we lead with humility and faith? You witness Judith herself retreating to a place of quiet prayer, her spirit lifted in thanks, yet humble in recognition of the ongoing journey. Her prayers are soft and steady, echoing the sacred rhythms you have come to know, a melody of trust woven through each breath. It's a reminder that courage is not a single act, but a continuous flow, nurtured by faith and reflection. The city around her breathes with a slow, steady grace. The warmth of the sun, the scent of blooming jasmine, and the distant song of birds blend into a gentle hymn of renewal. You sense that this moment, like many before it, is both an ending and a beginning, a sacred turning point wrapped in peaceful reverence. You might pause here to consider how moments of reflection and gratitude deepen the roots of courage within you. How do you nurture your own spirit through quiet prayer and mindfulness? Judith's journey invites you to hold space for these gentle practices, recognizing their power to sustain and restore. As you settle into this calm scene, you are embraced by the soft light of hope and the steady pulse of faith. The story moves forward with a tranquil rhythm, carrying you gently through the sacred unfolding of trust and courage. You find yourself wrapped in the calm that follows the quiet victory of Bethulia, where the city's walls seem to sigh in relief beneath the gentle touch of the morning sun. The air is soft and warm, filled with the mingling scents of fresh herbs and blooming flowers, a fragrant reminder of new beginnings. The people move with a slow, measured grace, their steps lighter now, echoing a gentle hope that has settled deep within their hearts. Judith walks among them, her presence a quiet beacon of faith and steadfastness. You notice how the community gathers around her, drawn not by the loudness of triumph, but by the serene strength she carries. Conversations unfold softly, laughter mingling with whispered prayers, a tender symphony that fills the city's streets. This moment is a sacred pause, a gentle breath held in gratitude and peace. An intriguing insight reveals itself here. Scholars often point to the story's conclusion as a celebration of the enduring power of trust and humble courage, emphasizing that true victory lies not in force, but in the steadfastness of spirit. You might reflect, how does this gentle victory resonate in your own life? What quiet triumphs have shaped your journey through faith? You watch as Judith leads a soft prayer of thanksgiving, her voice low and steady, weaving a melody that lifts the city's soul. Her words embrace themes of mercy, protection, and the unending presence of divine love, a sacred hymn that carries hope beyond the present moment. You are invited to listen deeply and let this peaceful song settle within you. The city itself seems to breathe with renewed life. The rustling of olive branches, the distant call of birds, and the soft murmur of streams, all blending into a calming chorus. This harmony invites you to rest in the tender embrace of renewal, allowing the story's peaceful conclusion to soothe and uplift your spirit. You might recall the quiet courage, steady prayers, and faithful trust that have woven through this tale from the beginning. Now, as the story gently draws to a close, you are reminded that faith's true power lies in its ability to nurture peace within and around us. As you breathe softly with Bethulia's peaceful morning, you are wrapped in the gentle assurance of grace, a calm light guiding you into rest and reflection. You turn your attention now to the broader reflections that Judith's story gently offers, a meditation on the sacred interplay of courage, trust, and faith. This is a moment to breathe deeply into the quiet wisdom that flows softly beneath the narrative's surface, inviting you to consider how these timeless themes resonate within your own journey. The story, like a gentle stream, moves steadily through the landscape of the soul, nourishing and refreshing with every step. As you reflect, you sense how courage in this tale is not about heroic grandeur, but about the quiet decisions made in the depths of the heart. Judith's example reminds you that true bravery often lives in the spaces of vulnerability and surrender, where faith becomes a steady companion rather than a fleeting feeling. This subtle strength encourages you to embrace your own moments of uncertainty with gentle trust. An intriguing insight emerges here. Some spiritual teachers see Judith's story as an invitation to embody the sacred balance between action and surrender, a dance of faith where human effort meets divine grace. You might ponder, how do you cultivate this balance in your life? When do you feel called to act? And when is it time to rest and trust? You are invited to hold these reflections without urgency, allowing the questions to unfold slowly like petals in the morning light. The story's gentle pace encourages patience and presence, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of the rhythms of courage and faith. You might recall the many quiet moments threaded through the narrative, the steady prayers, the calm preparations, the tender courage that blossomed in the night. These moments form a sacred tapestry, a living testament to the power of trust woven with intention and grace. As you settle into this reflective space, you are cradled by the soft rhythms of the story's unfolding, a gentle lullaby for the spirit. You carry with you the tender wisdom that courage and trust are not destinations, but ongoing journeys. Each step a quiet act of faith. Breathe slowly now, feeling the peaceful flow of this sacred story wrapping softly around you, inviting rest and renewal. You begin to explore the spiritual legacy that Judith's story leaves behind, a quiet echo that resonates softly through time, inviting each listener to carry its gentle lessons into their own life. This legacy is not one of loud victories or grand monuments, but a tender imprint left in the hearts of those who embrace faith, courage, and trust as a way of being. It is a subtle, enduring presence, like the soft glow of dawn that warms the earth after a long night. As you contemplate this legacy, you notice how Judith's tale invites you to see courage not as a single act, but as a lifelong companion, a quiet flame that flickers steadily through seasons of joy and trial alike. Her story encourages you to recognize the strength found in moments of stillness, in the humble choices made with intention and grace. This understanding offers a peaceful reassurance that even the smallest acts of faith hold profound power. A lesser-known insight comes into view here. Some traditions interpret Judith's narrative as a metaphor for the soul's journey toward wholeness, a passage through fear and darkness into light and peace. You might reflect gently. How does this story mirror your own path? What quiet transformations have shaped your journey toward trust and courage? The city of Bethulia, now at peace, becomes a sacred symbol of renewal and hope. Its stones and streets carry the soft whispers of prayers and the steady rhythm of faith lived out daily. You feel invited to walk alongside this symbol, letting its peaceful presence nurture your own spirit. You might recall the many tender moments woven through the story, the quiet preparations, the steadfast prayers, the gentle courage that guided each step. Together, these moments form a delicate tapestry of grace that wraps softly around the soul, inviting rest and renewal. As you breathe deeply with this enduring legacy, you are held in the calm assurance that faith's gentle light continues to shine through the ages, a soft beacon guiding you safely through life's quiet and stormy moments alike. Now, as you prepare to rest, let this peaceful story settle softly within you, a gentle companion for your journey into sleep and dreams. You find yourself reflecting on the timeless themes woven throughout Judith's story: trust, courage, and the quiet power of faith in action. This reflection invites you to hold gently the idea that each small, intentional choice you make is part of a larger narrative of hope and grace. The story encourages a deep breath, a softening of the mind, and an opening of the heart to the subtle ways faith moves within everyday life. As you dwell on these thoughts, you might sense the delicate balance between human effort and divine guidance, a sacred dance that Judith embodies so beautifully. Her journey reminds you that courage is not a solitary roar, but a whisper shared between your soul and the divine, a gentle encouragement to keep moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. A lesser-known insight comes into view here. Some spiritual scholars suggest Judith's story offers a model of leadership rooted in service and humility rather than power or dominance. This invites you to ask, how do you lead in your own life with gentleness and faith? What does it mean to influence others through quiet strength and compassionate presence? You are encouraged to hold these reflections with openness, allowing questions to settle softly in your mind like gentle rain on a calm evening. The story offers no rush to answers, only an invitation to explore trust and courage as ongoing companions in your personal journey. You might recall Judith's steady prayers, the elders' measured discernment, and the peaceful resolve that carried her through each step. These moments come together as a sacred mosaic, a reminder that faith is woven through time, carried in the smallest acts and softest words. As you breathe slowly with this gentle meditation, you are wrapped in the quiet embrace of the story's wisdom, ready to carry its lessons softly into your rest and renewal. You settle deeper into the gentle rhythm of Judith's story, feeling its soft currents carry you toward a place of restful contemplation. The narrative flows like a quiet stream, inviting you to reflect on the delicate balance between action and stillness, trust and effort, hope and surrender. This balance is not easily achieved, yet Judith's journey shows how it can be embraced with grace and gentle persistence. As you listen, you become aware of the subtle ways faith weaves through daily life, how courage often arises not from dramatic moments, but from steady, consistent choices made with intention and love. Judith's example encourages you to honor these quiet acts, recognizing them as the building blocks of spiritual strength and resilience. An intriguing detail reveals itself. Some scholars interpret Judith's story as a poetic meditation on the transformative power of prayer and contemplation, highlighting how inner peace becomes the foundation for outward courage. You might wonder quietly, How does your own practice of reflection nurture your ability to face challenges with calm and confidence? The city of Bethulia, now peaceful and restored, becomes a living symbol of this sacred interplay, a reminder that renewal often comes through gentle perseverance and unwavering trust. You feel invited to carry this symbol within you, letting its quiet light guide your own moments of uncertainty and growth. You might recall the many soft prayers, careful preparations, and tender acts of bravery woven through the tale. These moments form a sacred rhythm, a lullaby for the soul that invites rest and renewal. As you breathe slowly with this unfolding peace, you are held in the gentle embrace of Judith's enduring story, a quiet beacon lighting your path toward calm and hope. You feel the story's gentle momentum as it carries you deeper into the heart of Bethulia's renewal, where the city's calm streets whisper softly with the sounds of life returning. The air is filled with a subtle harmony, the soft laughter of children, the low murmur of conversation, and the distant song of birds greeting the new day. Each sound blends into a peaceful symphony that wraps the city in a tender embrace. Judith's presence remains a quiet force within this gentle chorus, her steady faith inspiring those around her to find strength in softness. You watch as neighbors exchange warm smiles and kind words, their shared hope weaving an invisible thread of connection. This communal resilience is a sacred dance of trust and courage, carried not in grand gestures, but in everyday moments of grace. An intriguing insight emerges. Some scholars view Judith's story as a celebration of communal faith and the power of collective prayer to transform even the darkest situations. You might reflect, how does your own community nurture hope and courage? What gentle rhythms of shared trust sustain you in times of trial? You notice how the city's landscape itself reflects this renewal. The olive trees heavy with fruit, the gardens blooming quietly in the morning light, the fountains murmuring softly as they flow. These images invite you to rest in the natural cycles of growth and restoration, mirroring the spiritual renewal unfolding within Bethulia's walls. You might recall the many soft moments of preparation, prayer, and courage that led to this peaceful dawn. Together, these scenes form a sacred mosaic, a tender reminder that hope grows slowly and patiently, nurtured by faith and the gentle power of community. As you breathe deeply with this unfolding harmony, you are wrapped in the soothing embrace of the story's quiet strength, carrying its lessons softly into your own heart and life. You feel the story's gentle conclusion drawing near, inviting you to linger in the soft echoes of Judith's journey, a tale of faith, courage, and tender trust that has unfolded like a quiet song through the city's walls. The peaceful rhythms of Bethulia continue to hum softly, a calming melody that settles deeply into your spirit, offering rest and renewal as you prepare to let go and drift towards sleep. As you reflect on the journey, you notice how Judith's story embraces the sacred tension between vulnerability and strength. Her courage was not a thunderous call, but a gentle whisper that moved mountains in silence. You are reminded that true power often resides in the soft spaces between words, in the steady pulse of faith carried with quiet grace. A lesser-known insight touches your heart here. Some spiritual traditions see Judith's narrative as an invitation to trust the unfolding of life with patient surrender, to recognize that even the smallest acts of faith contribute to the grand tapestry of grace. You might ask yourself gently, how do you cultivate patience and trust in your own unfolding story? What quiet acts of faith nurture your soul's journey? The city of Bethulia, bathed now in the soft glow of twilight, stands as a symbol of peace restored, a sacred space where courage and trust continue to grow beneath the surface of everyday life. You feel a deep sense of calm wash over you, as if the city's gentle heartbeat syncs with your own. You might recall the many moments of quiet preparation, prayer, and steadfast hope woven through the narrative. These threads form a delicate fabric of grace that invites you to rest, wrapped in the warmth of faith's gentle light. As you breathe slowly with this peaceful close, you are cradled by the story's soft embrace, a lullaby for the soul, guiding you gently into restful dreams and the tender renewal of tomorrow. You enter the soft unfolding of the final reflections on Judith's story, where the quiet lessons of trust, courage and faith gently settle like a calm sunset over the horizon. This moment invites you to rest in the tender grace that flows throughout the narrative, a soothing balm for the spirit that wraps around you like a warm blanket. You feel the story's gentle heartbeat slow, mirroring your own breath as it deepens and softens. As you breathe with this closing chapter, you are invited to carry with you the enduring whisper of Judith's courage, a reminder that true strength often grows quietly within, nurtured by faith and the soft, steady rhythm of trust. The story's gentle pace encourages you to embrace the power of stillness, to find peace in the spaces between action and waiting. A lesser-known insight lingers in this final pause. Some spiritual reflections see Judith's journey as a metaphor for the soul's awakening, a tender invitation to awaken courage through surrender and to find hope in the embrace of divine love. You might wonder softly, how does surrender open the door to your own strength? What gentle awakenings await you in the quiet moments of your life? The city of Bethulia, now resting under a blanket of stars, becomes a sacred symbol of peace and renewal. Its soft shadows and tranquil streets invite you to let go and settle into restful ease, carrying the story's quiet wisdom into your dreams. You might recall the many gentle threads woven through this tale, the prayers whispered in darkness, the steady steps of courage, the trust that carried the city through uncertainty. Together, these moments form a sacred lullaby, a soothing melody for your heart and soul. As you prepare to drift toward sleep, you are wrapped in the tender embrace of Judith's enduring story, a peaceful companion guiding you softly into the night's restful embrace. You are invited now to gently close the chapter on Judith's story, carrying with you the soft echoes of faith, trust, and courage that have woven through the city of Bethulia and into your own heart. The narrative has unfolded like a slow, peaceful river, each moment flowing seamlessly into the next, inviting you to move with ease and grace along its tranquil path. As you reflect on the journey, you might notice how the story's gentle cadence mirrors the rhythms of your own breathing, steady, calm, and unhurried. This harmony invites a deeper connection to the present moment, a sacred space where courage is nurtured not through force, but through quiet perseverance and gentle hope. A lesser-known insight lingers here. Some spiritual teachers suggest that stories like Judith's are timeless reminders that courage and trust are gifts to be cultivated daily, not just in moments of crisis. This invites you to consider, how do you nurture these gifts in your everyday life? What quiet practices sustain your spirit through life's ebb and flow? The city of Bethulia, now bathed in soft twilight, stands as a beacon of gentle resilience, a symbol of hope nurtured through faith and patience. You feel this light settling softly within you, a calm assurance that you are held and guided through all seasons. You might recall the many tender moments, the prayers whispered in the dark, the steady resolve carried through the night, the peaceful dawn that followed. These memories become a sacred tapestry, a gentle embrace that accompanies you as you move toward rest. As your eyes grow heavy and your breath slows, you are cradled by the quiet strength of Judith's story, a gentle lullaby leading you softly into dreams filled with peace and renewal. You settle comfortably into the soothing flow of Judith's enduring story, feeling its gentle rhythms align softly with your own heartbeat. The city of Bethulia, now calm and at peace, stands as a tender symbol of hope, a quiet sanctuary where courage and trust have blossomed through faith and gentle resolve. This peaceful tableau invites you to linger in the serene afterglow of the story's unfolding, a space where reflection and rest intertwine. As you breathe slowly with this moment, you are reminded that courage is not always grand or loud. Often, it is the soft whisper within that nudges you forward, the gentle strength that carries you through quiet trials. Judith's journey illustrates this beautifully, showing how faith nurtured in stillness can become a powerful force for transformation. An intriguing insight comes to light. Some scholars interpret Judith's story as a celebration of the sacred feminine, the blending of wisdom, beauty, and bravery that defies conventional expectations. This invites you to consider, how do you honor the quiet strengths within yourself and others? What gentle powers might you discover when you listen deeply to the whispers of your soul? The natural world around Bethulia seems to echo this harmony. The rustling of olive leaves, the distant call of birds settling in for the night, the soft glow of stars above. These subtle sounds weave a calming backdrop to the story's tender conclusion, inviting you to rest fully in the embrace of peace. You might recall the steady prayers, careful preparations, and quiet courage that have shaped this narrative. Together, these moments form a sacred melody, a lullaby that cradles your spirit and guides you gently toward rest and renewal. As your breath deepens and your eyes grow heavy, you are held by the soft, enduring light of Judith's story, a gentle companion for your journey into sleep and dreams filled with calm and grace. You now find yourself immersed in the tranquil aftermath of Judith's courageous journey, where the city of Bethulia stands bathed in a soft, golden light that feels both timeless and tender. The air is filled with a quiet reverence, a peaceful sigh after the storm, that settles gently into the hearts of all who call this place home. The story invites you to rest within this serene moment, to let the calm wash over you like a gentle wave. As you breathe deeply, you sense how Judith's steadfast faith has become a living thread woven through the fabric of the city, a quiet strength that inspires and comforts. Her journey is a soft beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, light can shine steadily and without fanfare. You feel encouraged to embrace your own inner light, knowing it too can guide you gently through life's shadows. An intriguing detail emerges here. Some spiritual interpretations see Judith's story as a sacred metaphor for the soul's journey toward wholeness, where courage and trust blend into a harmonious dance with grace. This invites you to reflect quietly. How does your own path mirror this sacred dance? What gentle courage is blossoming within you now? The natural world seems to hum softly in harmony with this peaceful scene. The rustle of olive branches in the breeze, the distant call of night birds, the shimmer of stars overhead. These subtle sounds create a soothing symphony that cradles the story's tender conclusion, inviting you to surrender fully to rest and renewal. You might recall the many soft prayers, calm preparations, and gentle acts of bravery that have carried Judith through her journey. These moments come together now like a lullaby for the soul, wrapping you in a warm embrace of faith and hope. As you close your eyes and let your breath deepen, you are carried gently into the night, cradled by the enduring peace of Judith's story, a quiet companion for your dreams and the tender renewal of your spirit. You feel yourself sinking deeper into the peaceful quiet that wraps around Judith's story like a soft blanket. The city of Bethulia, now resting beneath a canopy of stars, breathes a gentle sigh of relief, its walls and streets infused with the tender energy of hope and renewal. This tranquil moment invites you to let go of any lingering tension, to settle fully into the calm embrace of faith's quiet presence. As you breathe slowly, you notice how Judith's steadfast courage has left an imprint not only on the city, but within your own heart. Her journey serves as a gentle reminder that true strength often grows quietly, nurtured by trust and the steady rhythm of prayer. You are invited to carry this gentle strength with you, knowing it will guide you through your own moments of uncertainty. A lesser-known insight reveals itself here. Some scholars see Judith's narrative as a profound symbol of inner transformation, where faith leads the soul from fear to peace, from isolation to connection. This invites you to reflect softly. How does your own spiritual journey unfold in gentle rhythms? What transformations are quietly taking place within you? The natural world around Bethulia seems to join in this serene hymn. The soft rustling of leaves, the distant call of a night bird, the cool touch of evening air. These subtle sounds become a soothing backdrop, a lullaby that cradles your spirit and eases you toward rest. You might recall the tender prayers, the careful preparations, and the courageous acts that have woven through Judith's story. Together, they form a sacred melody that lingers softly in your heart, inviting peace and renewal. As your breath deepens and your body relaxes, you are gently carried into the night, held by the enduring calm of Judith's tale, a quiet companion guiding you into dreams filled with hope and gentle light. You find yourself embraced by the gentle cadence of Judith's story as it winds softly toward its peaceful conclusion. The city of Bethulia rests in a tranquil stillness, its walls bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, reflecting a serene grace that soothes the soul. This quiet moment invites you to pause and absorb the tender lessons woven throughout the journey, a lullaby of faith, courage, and gentle trust. As you breathe slowly, you sense how Judith's steadfastness has become a beacon of hope, not only for her city, but for all who listen to her tale. Her courage was a soft flame that burned steadily, illuminating the way through darkness without overwhelming the night. This enduring light invites you to recognize the quiet strengths within yourself, nurtured by faith and the gentle power of trust. An intriguing insight lingers here. Some spiritual reflections view Judith's narrative as an invitation to embrace the sacred balance of action and surrender, a harmony where human effort meets divine grace. You might quietly consider, how do you find this balance in your own life? What gentle acts of faith guide your steps each day? The natural world around Bethulia seems to echo this harmony. The whisper of olive branches, the distant song of night birds, the soft shimmer of stars overhead. These subtle sounds create a calming backdrop, cradling the story's tender close and inviting you to rest deeply. You might recall the steady prayers, the careful preparations, and the quiet courage that have shaped this tale. Together, these moments form a sacred melody, a lullaby for the heart, guiding you gently toward rest and renewal. As your breath deepens and your eyes grow heavy, you are wrapped in the soft embrace of Judith's story, a peaceful companion carrying you gently into sleep and dreams filled with calm and grace. You now find yourself carried softly into the tender reflections that follow Judith's story, where the gentle themes of faith, courage, and trust continue to weave through the quiet spaces of your heart. The city of Bethulia rests peacefully beneath a blanket of stars, its gentle pulse syncing with your own breath as you settle deeper into calm. As you breathe slowly, you are invited to consider how the story's gentle lessons extend beyond ancient walls, speaking softly into your own life. Judith's quiet strength serves as a reminder that courage often blooms in the stillness between moments, nurtured by trust and the steady rhythm of prayer. A lesser-known insight whispers here. Some spiritual traditions view Judith's journey as a metaphor for the soul's awakening, a tender invitation to embrace vulnerability as a gateway to strength and grace. You might ponder quietly, how does this awakening unfold in your own journey? What gentle courage stirs within your spirit? The natural world around Bethulia hums softly, the rustle of olive branches, the distant call of night birds, the cool night air carrying a soothing melody. These subtle sounds become a lullaby that cradles your spirit, guiding you gently toward rest. You might recall the prayers whispered in darkness, the steady resolve carried through the night, and the peaceful dawn that followed. These moments form a sacred tapestry, wrapping you in a gentle embrace as you move toward peaceful sleep. As your breath deepens and your eyes grow heavy, you are held in the tender light of Judith's story, a quiet companion leading you softly into dreams filled with calm and renewal. You drift gently into the soft, closing moments of Judith's story, feeling the peaceful resonance of her journey settle quietly within your heart. Bethulia, now calm and bathed in moonlight, seems to breathe a tender sigh of relief, a sacred stillness that invites you to rest deeply and embrace the soothing rhythms of faith and trust. As you breathe slowly, you are reminded that courage is not always loud or dramatic. Often, it is the gentle whisper that carries us through the darkest nights. Judith's example teaches you to honor the quiet strength within, a steady light that guides softly yet unwaveringly. An intriguing insight emerges here. Some scholars suggest Judith's tale serves as a spiritual invitation to surrender fear and embrace trust, revealing that true power lies in humble faith. You might reflect, how does surrender open space for courage in your own life? What gentle strength arises when you let go and trust? The natural world around Bethulia echoes this peace, the soft rustling of leaves, the distant call of nocturnal creatures, the cool touch of night air. These subtle sounds weave a calming melody that cradles the story's tender close, inviting you to sink fully into rest and renewal. You might recall the steady prayers, quiet preparations, and gentle acts of bravery that have woven through the narrative. Together, they form a sacred lullaby, a soothing embrace for your spirit as you move toward restful sleep. As your breath deepens and your body relaxes, you are held in the soft, enduring light of Judith's story, a gentle companion guiding you gently into dreams filled with peace and hope. You sink further into the calm that has embraced Judith's story, feeling the soft echoes of her courage and faith wrapping gently around your spirit. Bethulia's quiet streets now rest beneath a moonlit sky, their stones whispering tales of hope and gentle strength that have endured through time. This serene moment invites you to let go fully, allowing the story's peaceful rhythms to lull you toward deep rest. As you breathe slowly, you notice how Judith's journey reveals the profound power of subtlety, a courage that does not roar but speaks softly, moving mountains through quiet resolve. Her example encourages you to find the gentle voice within, the one that steadies your heart even in uncertain moments. An insightful detail appears here. Some spiritual reflections consider Judith's narrative a sacred metaphor for the light that shines brightest in darkness, a beacon of hope carried softly through trials. You might reflect, how does this soft light guide you when the path feels shadowed? What gentle courage do you carry deep inside? The natural world joins in this tender hymn, the rustling olive leaves, the distant call of a night bird, the cool whisper of the evening breeze. These subtle sounds weave a lullaby for your soul, inviting you to rest deeply and peacefully. You might recall the many moments of prayer, preparation, and steady courage woven through the tale. Together, they form a sacred melody, a gentle embrace that soothes your spirit as you prepare for sleep. As your breath deepens and your body relaxes, you are held by the tender light of Judith's story, a quiet companion guiding you softly into dreams filled with calm and renewal. You feel the story's gentle flow carrying you into the calm embrace of Bethulia's peaceful aftermath, where the city breathes softly beneath the glow of the stars. The quiet streets whisper with the tender echoes of faith and trust, their stones warm from the day's sun and cool with the evening breeze. This serene moment invites you to settle deeply into stillness, letting the story's gentle cadence soothe your soul. As you breathe slowly, you are reminded that courage is often a quiet companion, a steady presence that moves gently through life's shadows and light. Judith's journey shows you how faith nurtured in silence can become a powerful force, guiding you through uncertainty with calm and grace. An intriguing insight emerges here. Some scholars see Judith's narrative as a celebration of the sacred feminine's wisdom and strength, a blending of beauty, courage, and deep trust. You might reflect softly. How do you honor the quiet strengths within yourself and those around you? What gentle powers arise when you listen deeply to the whispers of your heart? The natural world around Bethulia joins this harmony. The rustling olive leaves, the soft song of night birds, the shimmering stars above. These subtle sounds weave a calming symphony that cradles the story's tender close, inviting you to rest fully and renew. You might recall the steady prayers, the careful preparations, and the quiet courage that have woven through this tale. Together, these moments form a sacred melody, a lullaby for your spirit, guiding you gently toward peaceful sleep and renewal. As your breath deepens and your eyes grow heavy, you are wrapped in the soft embrace of Judith's story, a peaceful companion leading you gently into dreams filled with calm and hope. You settle deeper into the peaceful cadence of Judith's story, feeling its gentle rhythms align with your own breath. Bethulia, now tranquil and serene, offers a soft sanctuary where courage and trust have blossomed through faith and quiet resolve. This moment invites you to rest in the tender afterglow of the journey, a space where reflection and calm intertwine. As you breathe slowly, you are reminded that courage often resides not in grand gestures, but in the steady, quiet choices made with intention and grace. Judith's example encourages you to honor these gentle acts, recognizing their profound strength. You might feel the quiet strength within yourself stirring gently, ready to guide you through moments of uncertainty. An intriguing insight whispers here. Some scholars view Judith's story as a celebration of the sacred feminine, a blend of wisdom, beauty, and bravery that defies conventional expectations. You might reflect, how do you nurture the quiet strengths within? What gentle powers emerge when you listen deeply to your soul's whispers? The natural world around Bethulia echoes this harmony. The soft rustling of olive leaves, the distant call of night birds, the gentle shimmer of stars overhead. These subtle sounds create a soothing backdrop, cradling the story's tender close and inviting restful renewal. You might recall the steady prayers, careful preparations, and gentle courage woven through the tale. Together, these moments form a sacred melody, a lullaby for the spirit, guiding you softly toward peaceful sleep and calm. As your breath deepens and your body relaxes, you are held by the soft light of Judith's story, a quiet companion leading you gently into dreams filled with peace and hope. You drift gently into the serene conclusion of Judith's story, where the city of Bethulia rests beneath a sky sprinkled with stars, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. The air carries a peaceful stillness, inviting you to release any remaining tension and settle fully into the quiet embrace of faith and trust. This final chapter offers a gentle lullaby, wrapping you in calm and quiet strength. As you breathe slowly, you reflect on the enduring lessons Judith's journey imparts. Lessons of courage cultivated in silence, trust nurtured through steady prayer, and strength found in humble surrender. Her story reminds you that true power often moves softly beneath the surface, lighting the way through darkness with a steady glow. An intriguing insight touches your spirit here. Some spiritual teachers see Judith's narrative as an invitation to embrace the sacred balance between action and surrender, a dance of faith where human effort meets divine grace. You might consider quietly, how do you cultivate this balance in your own life? What gentle acts of faith guide your steps each day? The natural world around Bethulia echoes this harmony. The rustling olive branches, the distant song of night birds, the shimmering stars above. These subtle sounds create a calming backdrop, cradling the story's tender close and inviting you to rest deeply. You might recall the prayers, preparations, and quiet courage woven through the narrative, moments that together form a sacred melody, a lullaby for the heart. As your breath deepens and your eyes grow heavy, you are wrapped in the soft embrace of Judith's story, a peaceful companion guiding you gently into restful sleep and dreams filled with calm and renewal. You are now gently carried into the soothing reflections that follow Judith's story, where the gentle themes of faith, courage, and trust continue to weave softly through your heart. The city of Bethulia lies quiet beneath a velvet sky, its peaceful pulse syncing with the steady rhythm of your breath as you settle deeper into rest. As you breathe slowly, you are invited to consider how the story's tender lessons reach beyond ancient walls, speaking quietly into your own life. Judith's gentle strength reminds you that courage blooms in stillness, nurtured by trust and the soft cadence of prayer. A lesser-known insight whispers here. Some spiritual traditions view Judith's journey as a metaphor for the soul's awakening, a tender invitation to embrace vulnerability as a gateway to strength and grace. You might softly ponder, how does this awakening unfold in your own path? What gentle courage stirs within your spirit? The natural world around Bethulia hums softly, the rustle of olive branches, the distant call of night birds, the cool night air carrying a soothing melody. These subtle sounds become a lullaby, cradling your spirit and guiding you gently toward rest. You might recall the prayers whispered in darkness, the steady resolve carried through the night, and the peaceful dawn that followed. These moments form a sacred tapestry, wrapping you in a gentle embrace as you move toward restful sleep. As your breath deepens and your eyes grow heavy, you are held in the tender light of Judith's story, a quiet companion leading you softly into dreams filled with calm and renewal. You feel the gentle flow of Judith's story guiding you toward a place of quiet reflection and rest. The city of Bethulia, now enveloped in the soft embrace of night, breathes peacefully beneath a canopy of stars. This tranquil moment invites you to release your cares and settle fully into the soothing rhythms of faith, courage, and trust that have woven through the narrative. As you breathe slowly, you are reminded that true strength often arises not from loud declarations, but from the steady, quiet choices made with intention and grace. Judith's journey encourages you to honor these gentle acts of bravery, recognizing the profound power they hold in shaping your own path. An intriguing insight whispers here. Some spiritual traditions view Judith's story as a sacred metaphor for the inner transformation that occurs when surrender meets faith, illuminating the way from fear to peace. You might reflect softly. How does this transformation unfold within you? What quiet courage grows in the fertile soil of trust? The natural world around Bethulia joins in this sacred hymn. The rustling of olive leaves, the distant call of night birds, and the cool whisper of the evening breeze. These subtle sounds create a calming backdrop, inviting you to rest deeply and renew your spirit. You might recall the many tender moments woven through Judith's story, the prayers whispered in the dark, the careful preparations, and the gentle courage that carried her through each step. Together, these moments form a sacred melody, a lullaby for the soul that cradles you as you prepare for peaceful sleep. As your breath deepens and your body relaxes, you are held in the soft light of Judith's story, a gentle companion guiding you gently into dreams filled with calm and renewal. You settle into the soothing cadence of Judith's tale, now winding softly toward its peaceful end. The city of Bethulia, bathed in the gentle glow of twilight, exudes a calm serenity that seems to breathe with you, inviting rest and reflection. The air carries a tender stillness, like a whispered prayer carried on a gentle breeze. As you breathe deeply, you feel the quiet strength that has sustained Judith throughout her journey, a courage rooted not in loud triumph, but in steady faith and humble trust. Her story reminds you that true power often moves softly beneath the surface, guiding you through darkness with a gentle light. An intriguing insight gently surfaces. Some spiritual interpretations see Judith's narrative as a sacred dance between human resolve and divine grace, an ongoing balance of action and surrender. You might ponder, how do you find this balance in your own life? What gentle acts of faith sustain your journey? The natural world around Bethulia joins in this quiet hymn. The soft rustling of olive leaves, the distant call of night birds, and the shimmering stars overhead. These subtle sounds weave a calming backdrop, cradling the story's tender close and inviting you to rest deeply. You might recall the prayers whispered in the night, the careful preparations, and the quiet courage that wove through the narrative. Together, these moments form a sacred lullaby, a soothing embrace for your spirit as you move toward restful sleep. As your breath slows and your eyes grow heavy, you are wrapped in the soft embrace of Judith's story, a peaceful companion leading you gently into dreams filled with calm and hope. You feel the final gentle waves of Judith's story ripple softly through your soul, carrying a peaceful grace that settles deeply within. The city of Bethulia, now wrapped in the quiet calm of night, hums with the gentle pulse of restored faith and enduring trust. This closing moment invites you to surrender fully to rest, allowing the tender lessons of courage and hope to cradle you into sleep. As you breathe slowly and deeply, you are reminded that true strength is often found in quiet surrender, a steady light that shines softly, guiding you through the darkest hours. Judith's journey has been a gentle companion, whispering encouragement and faith into your heart with every step. An intriguing insight lingers here. Some spiritual traditions view Judith's story as a sacred symbol of transformation, the movement from fear to trust, from shadow to light, from isolation to communion. You might reflect quietly. How does this transformation invite you to embrace your own journey with gentle courage and open heart? The natural world around Bethulia joins in this sacred lullaby, the soft rustling of leaves, the distant call of night birds, and the twinkle of stars overhead. These subtle sounds weave a soothing melody, guiding you gently toward peaceful sleep and renewal. You might recall the prayers, preparations, and quiet acts of bravery that have woven through the narrative, a sacred tapestry of grace and faith. Now, as your breath slows and your eyes grow heavy, you are wrapped in the soft embrace of Judith's story, a gentle light leading you gently into dreams filled with calm, hope, and renewal. Now, Let your thoughts drift like the soft evening breeze, your heart resting in the quiet assurance of love's gentle presence. Sweet dreams. Now, as Judith's story softly comes to a close, you are invited to release all tension and sink deeply into a peaceful stillness within your heart. This is not a tale of loud battles or dramatic triumphs, but a gentle song of courage and trust nurtured in quiet moments and humble faith. Like the soft moonlight filtering through a window on a calm night, that courage quietly illuminates the darker corners of life. Let your breath settle into a slow, steady rhythm. Each inhale and exhale a silent prayer, a quiet assurance that you are held and guided by a gentle, loving presence. Even when challenges arise and moments of weakness come, remember that true strength often lives in the calm spaces where faith quietly grows and courage softly rises. Feel the tender embrace of the night, the rustling leaves, the cool evening breeze, the distant call of night birds, all weaving together like a lullaby to carry you into restful sleep. Let your soul rest in this peaceful embrace, where worries fade away and hope gently blooms. This sleep will be a small kind of miracle, restoring your spirit and renewing your mind, preparing you for a new day filled with light and calm. Judith's story remains with you, like a gentle friend walking beside you on life's path, quietly encouraging and uplifting. Sleep well now, and let yourself be wrapped in the warmth of love, trust, and gentle peace.